But according to a March 20 Reuters report that cited Hyundai documents and a source familiar with the talks, the proposed partnership would cover two sizes of commercial electric vans destined for the North American market under both Hyundai and GM brands. The vans would initially be imported, but manufacturing could shift to North America in 2028, the source told Reuters. Hyundai is exploring building a new plant, adding production to an existing facility or contracting out the manufacturing, the source added. Long-term imports would not be a viable option, Fierani said, given the long-standing 25% tariff on truck imports into the United States, known as the chicken tax. But many hurdles remain, Fierani warned, including firming up the partnership and the likelihood of new U.S. auto tariffs. The outlook for U.S. tariffs on Canadian imports, including vehicles, has changed nearly weekly over the past 2 months, as U.S. President Donald Trump advances an array of levies on top trading partners. Auto tariffs on global vehicle imports into the United States are expected to come into effect April 3, while further tariffs targeting Canada are expected to be layered on as early as April 2. Fierani said any added production at CAMI requires free trade between the U.S. and Canada. He does not expect any public announcement on new product for the plant until the current trade fight is resolved. Mike Van Boekel, plant chair for Unifor Local 88, which represents hourly workers at CAMI, said the union has received no word on possible product from GM, but membership would be keen to build the added product. Absolutely. We have capacity. We have the workforce. So yeah, for sure. If they want to put vans in here, it would be a good place to put them. Van Boekel said Canada's free trade agreement with South Korea could help smooth the way, while the plant's track record with BrightDrop illustrates the workforce can deliver high-quality electric and commercial products. GM recently added a second BrightDrop production shift at CAMI, Van Boekel said, but he is skeptical that sales will support that level of output for long. About 1,100 Local 88 members build the BrightDrop vans at the plant, while another 200 build battery modules and packs at a battery plant that opened next to the main plant in early 2024. As with other plants in Canada, the constant threat of Trump's tariffs is clouding the outlook at CAMI, which already faced an uphill climb, Van Boekel said. To sustain a single shift of BrightDrop production, GM must sell about 1,000 vehicles per month, according to Local 88. GM sales figures for the first quarter of 2025 will not be released until April, but BrightDrop sales in 2024 fell well short of that benchmark. The company sold just under 2,000 of the vans in the United States and Canada last year. GM Canada did not respond to requests for comment about BrightDrop's sales pipeline. Prior to the launch of the vans in 2022, GM said it had booked orders for more than 25,000 of the vans from big-name customers such as FedEx, Verizon and Walmart, far more than it has delivered to date. Originally sold by just a handful of dealers in the United States and Canada, BrightDrop was tucked under the Chevrolet banner in August 2024, a move that will allow it to leverage the brand's sprawling dealership network. While sales have been slow in coming for BrightDrop, CAMI's sole product other than batteries, Fierani said the plant is one of the more modern factories in North America and is likely to find its footing. Something will get built there unless the tariff war between the US and Canada makes it unprofitable. Title: Aston Martin billionaire Lawrence Stroll open to taking automaker private. Content: Aston Martin Lagonda Global Holdings plc's executive chairman Lawrence Stroll said he would be open to taking the luxury carmaker private in future after announcing a plan to inject more funds. The Canadian billionaire's U3 consortium is paying around £52.5 million, $67.9 million, to increase its stake to around 33%, the company said on March 31. U3 plans to acquire 75 million new shares at 70 pence apiece, a slight premium to Friday's closing price. The company is severely undervalued and its stock market valuation of around £650 million is a joke, Stroll said, adding that he might consider taking Aston Martin private if it doesn't improve over time. Could it be something for the future? Potentially, yes. Never say never. Is it on my radar screen to do in the next fortnight? No, but never say never, he said in an interview. Stroll's consortium has invested more than £600 million in the British automaker since rescuing it in 2020. The debt-laden company has required repeated capital raises and is now undergoing a fresh turnaround attempt led by Chief Executive Officer Adrian Hallmark, a former Bentley Motors boss. Aston Martin also aims to sell its stake in the Formula One team that bears its name to raise at least $96 million, it said Monday. Stroll said he plans to attract a new strategic investor to the team, which he controls separately. U.S. firms HPS Investment Partners and XL Partners invested in the team last year at a £1.8 billion, $2 billion, enterprise value, Stroll said. His plan is to match or build on that valuation. Happily with the incoming demand, we could be very picky on who to sell this percentage to, Stroll said. Aston Martin also lowered its volume guidance for 2025, citing its initial analysis of the additional tariffs that U.S. President Donald Trump announced. The company now expects modest growth, having previously targeted mid-single-digit percentage growth. It's not catastrophic, it's just annoying, Hallmark said on the call. Aston Martin's shares rose as much as 14% on March 31, but they're still down 35% this year. Hallmark has already cut the profit goal for 2025 and announced plans to cut 170 staff, about 5% of its workforce. Aston still aims to generate positive free cash flow in the second half of this year after failing to do so in 2024. Shortly after Hallmark arrived last year, the company issued 2 profit warnings in quick succession. Title: former Vermont dealership employee sentenced to 4 months in prison for embezzlement. Content. A former office manager of 2 dealerships was sentenced March 17 to 4 months in prison for wire fraud, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Vermont. Jennifer Labonte, 45, of Essex Junction, Vermont, became office manager of Burlington Hyundai and Burlington Subaru in 2012, the statement said. In this position, Labonte stole cash receipts paid by dealership customers and issued checks to herself for non-business related purposes. To conceal this, she falsified records in the dealership's computers. In total, Labonte embezzled slightly more than $192,000 but has since repaid the full amount. The fraud was discovered in January 2024 and Labonte was terminated. Since she used the Automate dealership management system to manipulate financial records stored outside Vermont, the FBI launched a wire fraud investigation. Labonte pleaded guilty in October to 1 count of wire fraud. In addition to restitution, she was ordered to pay a $7,500 fine. Her sentence is set to begin May 6 and U.S. District Judge Mary Kay Lanthier said Labonte must be on supervised release for a year.